Hello and welcome back to my workshop for another of Harry's little Jeti clinic videos. And this one is in response to a request from Hank, who wants a controller for his smoke pump. Now, Hank is very explicit. He doesn't want this control to use flight modes or logic switches. It can only use mixing. And Hank wants the controller to switch on at throttle is open 1/4 and then increase proportionally from that point onwards. So below quarter throttle, the smoke pump is off. Can it be done? Yes, it can. We can do it purely with mixing. There is a couple of things to consider, or rather two different scenarios to consider here, and that is the point at which the controller of your smoke pump considers to be the off position of the control. Now, I'm going to use this servo here to represent the position of the control. The servo like that, the Jeti is outputting 0%, which is the midpoint. If it's rotated anti-clockwise, it's gone to -100%, and if it's rotated clockwise, it's gone to +100%. Now, I don't have any smoke pumps, but those who do, some tell me that their type of smoke pump counts the off position as being at -100%, and some smoke pumps count the off position as being at the 0%. So we're going to look at how to program for both of those conditions. The program is virtually identical, except that in the case where you have to go to -100% to switch the pump off, there will be one extra step. And for that reason, I'm going to start, first of all, with the version that works with what would be servo neutral, i.e. 0% is pump switched off. And then we'll have a look at the -100%, virtually identical, but one extra step. Okay, what do we do? Well, let's have a look at the model. In our functions assignment, we've created a smoke function, and therefore the radio will create a smoke channel, but we're not assigning a control to it because it will all be done through the mixing. So we can say OK to that. Come down here into fine tuning, down to the bottom, free mixes, add, so from the throttle. And notice here, this is an important little bit we'll come back to later. A throttle asymmetric mix, it defaults to that being switched on. And we're going to mix to the smoke function, come down to advanced. The master value will be +100%. Come along here to your switch, choose your two position switch. I'm going to use switch C here, so open that there, and that will switch the mix on. Say OK there. And in that case then, the throttle should work the mix. There we go, see the servo moving? So that's my throttle at idle. Servo's at 0%, what Jeti calls 0%, so it's at the mid position. And so if your pump controller counts the 0% in the mid position as being the off, there you are. And the entire throttle range from throttle at idle to full throttle works only in that half of the servo travel, so it's that half, the 0 to 100% travel, and lo and behold, there is your basic pump control. If we switch the mix off, it will go back and lock at the 0%, which, if you've got that type of pump controller, is switched off, and therefore I can move my throttle and nothing happens. Okay, switch it on, move the throttle stick, pump controller comes on. Now, what Hank asked for was that the pump will only switch on when he's got to quarter throttle, and we'll do that in the curve. So we can just press this button here, easy doing. Right, as we can see, there's the curve. Notice that I've pulled the throttle stick all the way backwards, but it doesn't come down into this sector. And that's because that throttle asymmetric mix is switched on by default. So the throttle stick's at idle, so the target, the little gun sight thing, is in the middle, not down here. So it only works up there, and that's why the servo's not coming back into the bottom of its range. Okie dokie. So what we'll do is change it to a 3-point curve, come down, come to the points. Right. All we need to do now is move that point. And move it to 25%. We can move it horizontally. Move it along there. See the readout. 25%. There's quarter throttle. As you can see, the servos come back a bit because although the sight isn't moving left, it's come down that curve. What we can do is keep pressing the button, move there, back to that one. Or I could have pressed escape, actually. We just have gone back one. We can move that up to 0. So now we have a nice straight line there. Now as we move the throttle stick, and I'm moving it to get quarter open, see the servo around here, it's not moving. So take my word for it, as you can see on the thing here, I'm moving the throttle stick, nothing happens, and then at quarter throttle, off it goes. Zippity-doo-dah. Now no matter where I leave it, if I switch the mix off, it locks back at the pump off position. Okay, let's put the mix back on. You might have a slight issue with this, because suppose we get here quarter throttle and bingo, the pump switches on. It could be that that's just too small a pumping rate. You might get very weak smoke, for example, and so really what you need is for this, once it switches on, to jump up much higher to start with. Can we do that? Yes, we can. If we come out of the curve there and go back to the curve type and change it to 5-point. Really all I want is 4 points, but Jeti doesn't offer even numbers of points. And so we come out of there, back down to here, and we'll take that one up to the 0 position. Take that one up to 0 as well. Get ourselves a nice straight line there. Okay, we'll move this point again along to the 25% position. So there we are, quarter throttle. So in effect, we've got virtually the curve we had before, except for this point here, we move to that one. We can now move that to the left. And we can go, just hold the button down because it will not go left of any point to its left. So it'll do this, form a vertical line. There we are. Now, using the scrolling dial or the up-down buttons, we can change that to some different value, like that. So what you could do is run your motor, switch the mixer on, up the throttle till you get the 25%, and bingo, it switches on. The pump is now running. There's a little dribble of smoke coming out. You think, I want it more than that. I'll just increase that value until, whoa, lots of lovely smoke even at that quarter throttle position. And then, of course, you've got the proportional bit for the rest of it. So here we go. Watch the servo behavior. Mixer off, move the throttle, the pump is off. Mixer on, move the throttle. When I get to quarter throttle, watch the pump suddenly jump on a long way. There we go. Good bit of smoke out, and then proportional the rest of the way. Okay, and that's it solved for the type of pump which counts the 0% as the off position. What about if it counts minus 100% as the off position? Okay, I'll just clear this out for a moment. I'll put that back to standard curve. Okay, there. Now then, we just need to make one little change here, and that's if we come down. Now here's one of the menu items. Remember, it defaulted to the throttle asymmetric mix is on. If we switch it off, now the range now goes, instead of 0 to plus 100, it will go from minus 100 to plus 100. There we are. So that if that's what your controller needs, that's fine. There is one little snag. Switch the mix off and it goes to the 0 position. And if you've got a pump that counts that as off, then it's going to be counting that as, half pumping. So we'll deal with that in a second. Let's get the actual mixer itself set up. So switch the mix on. We'll go back to the curve, and we're going to do exactly the same as before, except the points will be shifted down there, because as you can see, the gun sight, as it were, now travels left of the center all the way down here. So let's save ourselves the bother of going through the 3-point and then the 5-point curve. Let's just go straight to 5-point curve and get our way in here. That point is fine. Oops, and we need 2 points. Now, I'm going to shift this one just out of the way, because if we put that to 25% and then make this one the jump, we're still going to have to fiddle this one up and down to try and keep the line straight. So I'm actually going to use these 2 points rather than these 2 points. So that one, I'll just take it down. Oh, I don't want to go that far. And go hard left. It won't go any further left than the previous one. Lovely. Okay, now then, this one I'll bring down to quarter throttle, which is minus 50%. So I'll bring it right down to the 0 and then move it along to minus 50%. Oops, gone a little bit too far there. There we are. So that's the quarter throttle taken care of, and we want it to jump to start with. So we'll take that, we'll bring it all the way along. We can just hold the button down because it won't go left of that point. There we are. And now using the scroll wheel or the buttons, we can bring it down. Let's say to there. Okay, and now we have it. So I'll close the throttle. The mixer is on. The pump is at 0%. I start opening the throttle. You can see the little sight moving. I get to quarter throttle. The pump will jump on, and then we've got proportional control from there onwards. And once again, as before, you can get your engine back to that quarter throttle setting, and if there's enough smoke coming out, fine. If there's not enough smoke coming out, you can increase it. If there's too much smoke coming out, just decrease it to get the point you want where you're at the quarter throttle. Lovely. Okay, let's say okay to that. Right, that just leaves us the issue to deal with of when we switch the mix off, it goes to the mid position, so your pump's going to be running. Aha, what we need to do there is use a mixer to cancel that out. So we'll add from the smoke to the smoke. So we're going to mix to itself. Advanced. Master value again will be 100%. The switch, I'll put the switch to the smoke on position, open the switch field and move the switch to the smoke off position. Say OK. Now we can come along to the curve, and this time we want to change it to a constant. Come into the curve, and now, so mix in the, well, this mixer is on, but it's pump off position. Simply wind that down to the minus 100%. See the servos moving? There we go. So, pump off. I can move the throttle. It's locked in the off position. Throttle to idle. Pump on. Move the throttle. Quarter way up. Suddenly the pump jumps on and runs. And there you are. So we can cope with 2 different types of pump controller and adjust all the smoke and get it all running with very simple mixers.